Hey yo control freaks, what's up? In this video today I'm going to show you how you can set up a MIDI device to control stuff in Ableton Pro without MIDI mapping. MIDI mappings are great, but it has one downside. The data is stored within the project. So whenever you open up an old project or start a new Ableton file, all your mappings are gone and you would have to redo them, which is really annoying and which made me stop using that until I found ClyphX. Here you can map buttons and it's stored with the application. So whenever you have a new project or open an old one, your controller will behave just the way as you like it. And you can do other things, what you can't do with MIDI mappings. For example, you can refer to a track by name. So you can set up a bunch of buttons to control a track which has the name kick or bass or snare or whatever. And whenever you have a track in your project with that name, your buttons will control that track. And that's possible with X-Controls, and I'm going to show you how you can do that. My name is Schlappe, and let's talk about ClyphX Pro. This episode is going to be split up into two parts. In the first part, we'll have a look at the general setup and which files you need to edit and where they are located, as well as the basic approach. And the second part, I'll take you through the process of planning and doing a layout, as well as a programming of a whole MIDI controller. For this video, I'm going to use this Behringer X-Touch Mini, but you could use any MIDI controller you like, such as a MIDI Fighter Twister or a launch pad. You could use a foot controller, which is great for live looping when you're playing an instrument. I have this trusty old foot controller. It's like 20 years old now, but it works perfectly. So as you can see, any MIDI device which sends out MIDI data will work. So let's jump right in, shall we? We are going to assign this button here to the play button in Ableton Live. So in ClyphX, we always need two main ingredients. We need a trigger and we need an action. So let's quickly find the action. Let's have a look at the manual, and under the global actions, we'll select SETPLAY, which will toggle the playback. Now that we know the action, we have to take care of the trigger, which will be an X-Control. But first, we need to tell ClyphX that there is a MIDI device which wants to talk to Cliff. So we do that in the preferences under MIDI control surfaces, and under input, we choose the MIDI device we are using. In this case, it's an X-Touch Mini. That's done. To set up an X-Control, we need to edit a text file. And this is located in your home folder. There's a folder called Native Control, ClyphX Pro. So here we find a file called X-Controls.txt. So we open that up. And here you have a short manual for setting up an X-Control, and what is important for us now is this bit. That's the format, the syntax, how to set up an X-Control. ClyphX Pro is most of the time quite forgiving about the syntax, but sometimes it is not. And you won't get an error message. The thing you try to achieve just won't work. So pay extra attention to use the right syntax, but I'll take you through the process step by step. Now, so it says we need a name for the X-Controls. It has to be a unique one-word name for the control. So I recommend using a name for the control which actually makes sense and tells you something about the control. In this case, I would suggest to start the name of the control with X-Touch, and we're going to use this button here. These are also buttons, so when you press them, they work as a button. So this is 8, 16, 24. So it's button 23. And we have two pages. So we use page 1. Okay. So X-Touch hyphen P1 for page 1. And it's button 23 equals. Now we need to tell Cliff which MIDI message he should respond to. That means we need to find out which MIDI message is sent when we press this button. You could find out by having a look at the manual. It says it's A# -1 and it's channel 11. but we need to find out the MIDI note number. So we can look that up in the internet, and when you type in MIDI note number, you most likely will find a table where it says A sharp -1 is MIDI note number 22. So that is one method, but what I like to do, and this is the method I recommend, is using a MIDI monitor. There's a tool from Haxler, which is called Protocol, which monitors incoming and outgoing MIDI messages. So when I press this button, it will tell me, oh, there was a note on message on channel 1 with the data 22 and the velocity of 127. And that's the data we want, because sometimes you can configure those controllers and it might not send out the MIDI message which stands in the manual, or sometimes it's not even written in the manual. Anyways, we now know the information. So it's a MIDI note message on channel 11. Then we need the note number, which was 22. Now we need to fill in two values, off LED and on LED. I haven't fully understand the concept of this, but it is used to send a feedback, a MIDI feedback to the button that it can light up. But it also says, in doubt, use 0 and 127. And that's what we are going to do and what I did the last 2 years. So 0, 127. And lastly, we need to type in the action list. And our action is set play. Now, the last thing you need to do is save this file, go back to Ableton and reload the set. You don't have to restart Ableton, but you have to reload the set, because when you reload the set, the control surface scripts are reloaded. Now, when I press this button, it does toggle the playback. Perfect. So there's one more thing I'd like to show you in this first part, and that is you can use more than one controller to use with ClyphX Pro. And you do this when you go into the preferences, and here you can see you have more ClyphX Pro scripts, which called XDA to E. And if you want one more controller, you just simply choose XDA, use whatever you have connected, and then you go into your home folder where you found the ClyphX Pro script, and there is now a subfolder named XDA. In this folder you find an individual X-Control.txt file, which will be specific for that controller, and similarly, like XTB will create another subfolder, and so on. So that was it for the first part. Now you should know everything you need to know how to set up an X-Control. And in the second part, we are going to populate all the buttons of the X-Touch Mini in both pages.
Hey Cliff, hello. Would you mind taking us out today?
Yeah, sure, no problem. That wraps it up for today's video. I hope it will help you on your journey with ClyphX Pro. Please like and subscribe, it will help us to grow this channel. If you are interested in more exclusive material, head over to our Patreon. There will be more detailed videos, one-on-one coaching, Q&As, monthly hangouts with other ClyphX Pro users, our user actions, and you will find all links down in the description. Until then, stay well, stay healthy, and always stay in control.